People always used to tell me that it doesn't matter what you ride, just ride. But anytime that I tell them that I ride a sport touring, they want to make fun of me. You know, I've had it. Now I'm mad. Let's go!
Alright, to be completely honest, I don't really know how to transition from that, so let's just jump right in. Just like last time, we'll start with riding position. This bike sits kind of far back, but not nearly as far back as most sport bikes. Most crotch rockets have their handlebars pretty close to the tank, but these ones sit pretty high. After riding the Grom a lot, it can really make it feel like I'm reaching super far when I get on this bike. The first time I ever saw this bike, I really thought that the gas tank would get in the way of riding, but it's actually not nearly as tall as you'd think. Top speed on this bike is either 142 or 143, I can't really remember to be honest. Dear infant baby Jesus, this bike is heavy though. I don't know why or who decided that this bike needed to be 450 pounds, but it's ridiculously heavy. I might just be a sissy, I don't really know, but I've been on other 600s and they haven't been nearly this heavy. One of the first couple times I took this bike out, I actually underestimated the weight of it and let it fall over, but luckily I was underneath it to catch the fall, so hardly any damage happened to the bike. I stopped a little bit too hard coming into an intersection and the bike started to lean to one side, and before I could realize it, there was nothing I could do. I just kind of threw myself under the bike, that way it wouldn't damage it, so oh well. When you have to replace the chain, I don't recommend OEM. There's no master link on it, and I had to end up paying a shop $100 just to replace it because they had to end up taking half the bike off just to get both sprockets in at the same time. It kind of sucked, but I was tired of having my bike be out of commission, so I just gave in. It's a little heavy, it's a little hard to work on, it's a 600, but I still think that this is a good starter bike. I started on it. This bike forces you to respect it. If you treat it like a toy, you're going to end up in a ditch or dead. You just have to always be paying attention to when you shift your weight, and whenever you go into turns, you have to grip the tank with your knees pretty tight. I mentioned this in the last video, but this bike doesn't have a gear indicator, and with 6 gears, that's kind of a pain. The stock exhaust on this bike isn't too bad. The only aftermarket part on this bike is the exhaust tip, which the guy before me cut off the old one and put this chrome tipped angled one. I think it's supposed to be like a flat metal, but he thought this one looked better, and I would agree. That and the stickers, the Captain America stickers, are the only thing that's really different about this bike. He's a little cold. This bike honestly sits a lot. I have a Grom and a new car that I actually enjoy driving around, so I never really have the time to take this bike out. I've honestly been contemplating selling it. What do you guys think? I keep going back and forth as to whether or not I should sell this bike or not. It's my first bike. I love the bike. There's nothing wrong with it. My tattoo is an EKG with that exact bike as the silhouette. This bike introduced me to the motorcycle world, and I've loved it ever since. I just don't really have the time to ride it, and paying monthly insurance on a bike that you don't ride is just not smart. This picture was taken the day I got the bike, and just remembering how excited I was when I came home and it was sitting in the garage, it's a good feeling. Basically how it all went down was I called my boss a couple days before I wanted to go to a dealership to buy a bike, and he suggested, hey, why don't you just buy mine? So I begged and begged and begged my parents for about a week or two, just, hey, let me get it, I'll pay for it, I'll do this and that, I'll take safety courses, I'll buy my own gear, I'll do all that. So after about 2 weeks of asking them, I got a ride home from work from a buddy, and both of my parents were outside of my dad's house, even though they live apart from each other. So I was like, what's going on? And they both had this kind of eerie look on their face. And I looked over into the garage, and there she was. She was sitting right there. It's definitely a day I will never forget. But anyways, going back to the review, I would give this bike a 7 out of 10. And once again, my amazing chart skills are going to show you why. Here are the reasons why I gave the bike a 7. In the speed category, I gave it an 8. Yes, it's very fast, but compared to other 600s, it's not as fast. Other 600s will top out at like I think 186. This one tops out, like I said, around 142. This thing has no trouble at all going from 0 to 60 in a matter of a few seconds, but it's not as fast as other 600s, so that's the only reason why I gave it an 8. For comfort, I gave this bike a 9. The seat on this thing, let me tell you, oof. It's like placing your cheeks on one of those fancy pillows from those commercials. You can ride all day and not be sore. It hugs it and it's nice. It's nice. For mobility, I give this bike a 6. It's really heavy, so whenever I try to back out of my driveway or go up a curb or anything like that, it can feel kind of clunky and a little slow. For cost, I gave this bike a 7. I've been on Craigslist and other similar sites, and all these FZ6Rs are going for about $3,000 to $3,500, so that much for a 600 really isn't all that bad. I gave this bike a 7 for fun as well. Going fast and dragging knee and pushing your limits, yeah, it's fun, but it's dangerous and you're just gonna get yourself hurt. Anymore, I just have more fun riding around on the Grom, especially with other people. It's a mini bike. People don't take you seriously. You're like a riding meme. It's hilarious. I love the looks that people give me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. I really think I'm going to start making more content like this. I really love making these bike reviews. I think they're a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of my buddies agree to let me borrow their bikes for a day so I can make more of these. If you want daily content, be sure to check out my Instagram at RideGuyVideos. There I post every single day, sometimes twice a day. So thank you guys very much for watching again, and be sure to check out that Instagram. See you guys.